Hey there, I'm Shanda Trope from Transcendent Publishing, and I am here today with Elicia Raprager, best-selling author of Share a Smile, Thriving in Life and Treatment. There it is! Yay! How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
Doing great. I'm excited to talk to you today because we
Me
launched your
too.
book and it
Mhm.
went to bestseller. And since then, you've been doing interviews. And so I'm excited to hear what's been going on with you since we launched your book. But I just want to read your book description first so that our audience knows a little bit about what your book's about.
Sounds like
So,
a good plan.
yeah. Share a smile, thriving in life and treatment. Have you lost precious time due to depression, anxiety, and fatigue? Elicia Raprager, a mental health survivor, was motivated by this and chose to transform her life. Through therapy, workbooks, research, and self reflection, Elicia gained skills to improve her mental health and well being. She is a best selling author and blogger, and her goal in life is to inspire others and instill hope. This book will bring your emotions full spectrum. Laugh with Elicia as she finds humor in her formal, irrational fears. Grab some tissues as she shares her most vulnerable moments. Feel again after apathy numbed your pain. Whatever you do, don't let any more days pass you by. This book will give you practical tools to navigate denial, acceptance, self care, and personal development. I love your book description because it really does encompass everything that your book is about and the benefits that the reader will get from reading your journey and your story. So I
Thank you.
know that this comes from your own personal journey with mental health. Why was it important for you to share your story with others?
Writing has
Writing has
always been
always
there
been
for
there
me
for me
ever
ever
since
since
I was a
I was a
child.
child.
And one of my BHAGs, my big, hairy, audacious goal was to write a book.
Uh,
And I decided that this was going to help others. It was going to help me in the process because I was able to process my emotions and look back on some of my tougher days and when I was just too stubborn to get any help. But definitely just wanted to help others and let others know that they're not alone.
Oh, then that's a great reason right there to write a book and share your story. And just share your personal story through your journey with mental health. That takes a lot of bravery and courage. And I was very proud of you for writing your story, and still am. So what
Thank you.
so would you say then that it's your journey with your own journey with mental health that inspired you to write this book?
Yes, that was definitely a big part of it. I was also inspired because I started posting regularly on social media, probably giving too much information, but I was getting a lot of great feedback telling me, "Oh, this is so helpful. You know what? I really should do something like that. I'm going to go schedule an appointment with a provider, and I'm going to go and go back to the gym. Something that I need to do now. COVID hasn't been good to me for that."
It hasn't been good to any of us.
So then I started blogging and I got great experience with that as well. Mm.
So I love that you started by sharing on social media, and I know that you're an avid blogger. And that's a great way for someone who might want to write a book and share their story to start building their confidence. And when you can see that positive feedback and you can start to see that your words are affecting people in a positive light, did that give you the motivation and the courage to move forward with your book?
Yes, definitely. Just knowing that there were people out there who agreed, yes, I need this. More people need this. This is going to help others. And just the fact that it came together, finished during the pandemic, and where so many people were just realizing that they needed to take control of their mental health, their emotions, their well being. it really worked out for the best, and something where I almost thought was going to stop the book from coming into play. And
Yes.
also
And
your writing community definitely helped.
timing actually turned out to be perfect. And I always say books are birthed in the perfect divine timing, exactly when they're meant to be released to the world. But you joined my 5-day challenge, Jumpstart Your Book Writing Journey, in the beginning of 2019. And
Mhm.
that's what started, is that what started the wheels in motion for getting
Yes.
your chapter? And
It
then you
absolutely did.
yeah, then you were in the author mentoring group, and then the bestseller boot camp, and then my author success academy in 2020. And then after that, you finished. I mean, you really some. I work with some authors that take a few years to write their books, and then some authors move more quickly. And I always tell the authors where it takes longer,
Mhm.
don't worry about it. That means you're meant to experience something that's meant to go in the book, or the book is meant to be released to the world at a different time. And in your case, I really believe with what everything that was going on in 2020 with the pandemic and depression and the anxiety that people were feeling, your book was such a blessing that it had to be released at that time. It's like the whole universe conspired to get book out there for you. So yeah, I think that it's definitely a blessing that it came together in 2020.
I
And it's
appreciate
still,
it.
still helping people today. Well, I know it wasn't an easy journey. It's never an easy journey when we share our story and we're vulnerable. Would you say that you had was there some hard parts to writing? Is there a certain chapter that stuck out to you?
Yes, there were a few chapters that were difficult to write. Um, Two of them actually started as blog posts,
Okay.
and they were chapters 9 and 10.
Mhm.
And my husband seemed to always walk in when I was working on those chapters just to say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, these are the chapters where I'm talking about when I was such a control freak about him drinking alcohol and having alcohol in the house, and so much better now." And I just, every time I was writing it, it just felt like this was just so difficult. And like sometimes I would tear up a bit and just be like, I can't believe I put him through this and my closest friends. And like I said, every time he seemed to come in, I was working on those two chapters. And the other one is chapter 11. So right after that, there is a subchapter in there called grieving, coping with a grieving heart. And it's after I lost someone very close to me, my maternal grandma.
Yeah.
And every time I read that chapter, I cry. Every time I tear up, and I'm thinking about how I want to do my audiobook, and I'm like, oh, don't make me just a blubbering mess in this chapter. But I really feel like the book wouldn't be the same without that.
Absolutely. Because if it's bringing the writer to emotion, it's going to bring the reader to emotion.
Mhm.
And that's how your reader connects with you. So I'm glad that you included those chapters, even though they're hard to write, because sometimes authors, when they get to those hard chapters, they just want to put the book aside and not work on it, or not even include that chapter. So I commend you for including them and writing through them. What about, was there a chapter that you really enjoyed reading or writing?
Thank you. Yes, kind of the opposite. So, chapter 14, empowering others through social media. I felt like that chapter really showed who I'm becoming, who I am now, who I want to be. Just helping others by being that positive light that's on social media instead of bringing people down. Whenever people say they need to turn off their Facebook or turn off their Instagram, I just feel for them because I get so much out of social media.
Yeah,
Communities, supports, pictures of family, and I just had a lot of fun writing that chapter, and I just feel the joy when I read it. And the other chapter is completely different extreme. It's actually quite suspenseful. It's chapter 7, Do I Have Schizophrenia? And spoiler alert, got a test to find out. But it starts in action with calling my mom and talking about calling the police because they thought someone was in the house. And I couldn't figure out what was happening. But writing that chapter, it was almost like writing a mystery suspense book. Um, so I got a little sense of that, and I put a lot of my voice in there and my mom's voice. But those were some interesting chapters to write, and I hope the readers enjoyed them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's nice when you can have that balance, when you can have some of the deep emotional chapters to really let the
Mhm.
reader know you understand where they're at because you were there too. So it's important to have those chapters, but then when you can lighten it up and have some fun and show your passion and your joy in another chapter, it makes it an enjoyable read where it's not the whole book isn't the heavier topics, but you have that nice balance, and I think you really did a really nice job of that writing your book.
Thank you. Well, you were a huge support every step of the way.
Well, it's very well received. You have many reviews on Amazon. It quickly went to bestseller. You had a lot of support in the community. So what has changed for you since you published your book?
Feel my confidence has gone up and stayed up there a bit more than it usually does.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things is I've been getting messages and phone calls from people who have read the book, and some of them are people I went to high school with and barely spoke to them. They're like, "Hey, I wanted to let you know I read your book and I
So,
really related to it, and I think you're so brave for doing this, and thanks for writing, and look forward to, catching up with you." And I am extremely introverted, and becoming an author has made me a little more outspoken. So that's definitely been a change, and I welcome it.
oh, good, good.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's important. You wrote this book because you want to get your message out there, and
Mhm.
so many authors think their work is done once they write the book, but that's really when it's just beginning, because now you
Yeah.
have to find clever ways to get your message out there to readers who can benefit from your story and what you have to offer. So you're doing a great job of that by doing interviews, and you continue to blog, and you continue to be that shining light on social media, and that's how your readers who are meant to read your book are going to find you. So you're doing everything right.
Thank you.
I know how hard it is. I'm introverted as well, and I know how hard that is to get out there
Mhm.
on video and share your message. But it's so important because that's how those readers are going to benefit from your book, and it's so important to get that out there in the world right now because, like we talked about earlier, I'm sure there are many people struggling even into this year with the pandemic, with depression, anxiety, those types of things. So many people could benefit from your book right now. So
I
if somebody
appreciate
wanted to get a copy of your book, will you hold the
it.
cover up again?
Yeah. Need to cover my face a bit for a moment.
Oh, share a smile. Now let's talk about your cover for a moment. Is that a picture that you had taken, or did you take that picture yourself?
I took this picture up north in UP of Michigan. Still live in Michigan, proud Michigander. And this was at the Sunset Bay Motel in Munising.
Nice.
And from the very beginning, I knew that's what I wanted my cover to be.
Yeah, I remember when we were, even before you knew that we would work together, when you had decided that's what your cover would be. So when then you decided you wanted to work with me on the creation of the cover design and the interior formatting and those things, it was very important for me to ensure that you had your your cover created from that picture. So yeah, I'm glad to see that it came together for you.
I was thrilled to be able to use it because everybody who I had shown it to when I was working on the book and just had the idea, I would carry a binder around with the picture on it and I'd be like, yeah, this is what I hope it looks like. And everyone's like, yeah, that just elicits so much emotion and longing for me. I hope that's the cover. I'm like, I hope so too.
Well, you had a vision, and that's what we try to do at Transcendent Publishing is bring your vision to life, and then help you give it that polished look that you can't really do with some of the regular design tools. The graphic designer, of course, needs to lay it out for print so that it wraps the book. But it's always nice when an author has a vision and that the designer can capture that vision, and it helps bring the book to life. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
was excited about you having that cover.
Thank
So, I know in your book you give away a free gift to your
you.
readers. Do you want to tell everyone what that gift is?
Sure. So in the paperback, there are journal prompts for each chapter that go along with the concepts that were discussed, any stories or opening um, insights. And in the ebook, the free gift is a PDF download of those journal prompts. So you can get those yourself, even if you're only looking at the ebook. You can print them off, or you can do them on the computer. I've already been told that some people who have done it said it was very helpful. They enjoyed it. But I know that there's going to be some readers who are probably going to skip it, but that is up to you.
Well, they're very helpful because just like writing the book, I'm sure was a healing journey for you and cathartic. Wouldn't you say that your healing journey through mental health, a lot of it can, be moved along through journaling, and does it helps you process the emotions. So were the journal prompts you chose prompts that you used in your own journey?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And journaling is something, like I said, that's gotten me through since I was a child. It used to be a lot of poetry, and then it became journaling. I have journal prompts, freestyle journals, confidence workbook journals, things that are related to therapy workbooks. So I have a little bit of each that I do in my own, and that's why I definitely wanted to incorporate it into my book.
Yeah, very nice. So, if somebody wanted to get a copy of your book with your free gift, do you sell it on your website, or is it only on Amazon and barnesandnoble.com, or you have it on your website as well?
So you can go to my website and access the links to go to Barnes and Noble and Amazon. The only time I was selling it directly was for the pre-order sale. Sold 38 copies during the pre-order, so I was
Wow,
very happy with that.
impressive.
But yeah, my book is available on Amazon.com, Target, Barnes and Noble, and Walmart.
Mhm.
And the ebook is exclusively on Amazon until May.
Very nice. And so I just want everybody to go to your website and read your blog. So can you let them know the website where they can find your blog? Because it's so inspirational and inspiring and feel good. So I think it's important to share that with everyone.
Yes, thank you. Plus, I have all of my social media platforms on there too. So my website is www.eliciaraprager.com. So exactly as it's spelled on our video.
Wonderful. Very nice. Well, I really, really enjoy. I mean, I was so proud of you when you got your book out there because I remember starting with you at the beginning of 2019 with the 5-day challenge, and then to see you finish your book. Because not everybody makes it through to the end when they start writing a book. So it's not an easy journey. I was really excited for you, and I loved working with you. So I hope that you enjoyed the journey just the same.
Absolutely. The pleasure is mutual, and I've recommended you to many. Um, I'm very, very thankful. It's a dream come true having my own book. Sometimes it still doesn't feel real. It's usually on the bookshelf right behind me.
And some other
Something
books as well. So you also, while you were writing the book, you got your feet wet with some multi-author collaborations, and so you were published in some other books as well. So what are the titles of your other books that you participated in?
So the other two books, the first one was Inspirations 101 Uplifting Stories for Daily Happiness. And the second one is The Grateful Soul, The Art and Practice of Gratitude. And I have two chapters in Inspirations, and I was very happy to have just the one for Grateful Soul because I narrowed it down and decided what I wanted to write.
Well, that's a lot of work that you were doing that when you were writing your book. But I always recommend that authors do that and participate in a multi author book because it helps you get your feet wet for the publishing process and understand how it feels to put your writing out in the world before you do it on a larger scale for your own book. Do you feel like it helped you get prepared for publishing your own book?
Yes, it definitely did because I got some of the information ahead of time of how the launch was going to work, what the process was for editing, how long it was going to take for formatting, and just getting to see everyone's work all together and helping promote the book.
And it's nice when you can connect with other authors. So
Mhm.
those all those books are on your website, and then that will take people to Amazon or Barnes and Noble or wherever they would care to purchase. So yeah, and then of course I'll put your website in the comments when we're off of here. And so if anybody wants to visit your website, I highly recommend reading Alicia's blog. You'll love it.
Thank
It's so
you.
inspiring. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me. I'm really excited about you getting your book out there, and I hope that you have so much success with it for many years to come.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's been fantastic working with you and the team. And like I said, being able to have my own cover, just recreating that for me. Um, Something that I also just want to have a disclaimer of is I am not a mental health professional. I am not clinical. I'm just someone who advocates for it because it means so much to me. It's touched me in a very deep way, obviously. So
Yeah,
just want everyone to be careful and know their resources and speak with their provider if needed.
yeah, absolutely. And would you say that's, well, if I were to ask you what's one thing that you could leave our readers with if they are struggling, what's one thing they could do today to get started on the path of healing?
Find someone you can trust, whether it's a friend or family member or even just like a helpline, just so you can talk to someone about what you're feeling. Because talking about it was the most helpful thing to get me to start thinking of how I can get help, what the next steps could be, and where I could eventually be.
Very
So
good
find
advice.
someone you trust.
Great advice. Well, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Alicia, again for being here and talking about your book. And I hope this gets out to someone out there who can really benefit from your words. Because I know if they buy your book and they read it, it's going to help them if they're struggling. I firmly believe that.
Thank you, Shanda. I appreciate you very much, and it's been wonderful talking with you today.
All right. Well, you enjoy your evening.
Thank you. You too. Take
Thank you.
care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.